The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky as the human ship Endurance entered the orbit of Aurelia Prime, a planet often called the Galactic Paradise. Its surface shimmered with blue oceans, green forests and mountains capped with snow. Clouds swirled gracefully, creating intricate patterns visible even from space. It was a world that many species across the galaxy envied. Inside the command deck, Captain Elena Carter stood silently, gazing through the viewing window. Her brown eyes reflected the brilliant colors below. She had read reports about Aurelia Prime, a planet with perfect conditions, gentle weather, and creatures that rarely harmed one another. Yet despite all its beauty, she did not feel awe. Instead, she felt curiosity and determination. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Lieutenant Rami Patel, the ship's science officer, said, leaning beside her. His tone was a mix of wonder and amusement. "Beautiful, yes," Elena replied, her voice calm. "But perfect? Nothing in the galaxy is perfect. Not even Aurelia Prime," Rami chuckled. "Humans do have a strange way of thinking. We're the only species that sees danger in paradise." Elena did not answer. Her crew had been raised on Earth, a planet known across the galaxy as a Deathworld. Earth's extreme climates, unpredictable wildlife, and harsh terrain had forged humans into resourceful survivors. Unlike many other species, humans were not afraid of challenge. They thrived on it. The communication console beeped. Elena turned toward it. An alien hologram appeared, floating in the middle of the room. The figure was tall, with smooth teal skin and eyes like liquid silver. Its expression carried the arrogance common among Aurelia Prime's inhabitants. "Welcome, humans," the alien said in a musical voice. "We have heard much about your so-called Deathworld. Tell us, how do you survive on such a hostile planet?" Elena straightened. She knew this moment would set the tone for the entire mission. "We adapt," she said simply. The alien's silver eyes narrowed. "Adaptation is primitive. Here everything is safe. Everything is gentle. You will find our paradise overwhelming. Are you sure you wish to remain?" Elena held its gaze. "We are sure." A chorus of laughter echoed through the holographic projection. Other aliens appeared beside the first one, all wearing smiles that were equal parts amusement and disbelief. "They survive on a Deathworld?" one said. "How laughable! They will never endure Aurelia Prime." The mockery was sharp, but Elena's crew did not flinch. They had faced far worse than ridicule on Earth. The Endurance's landing crew, dressed in light, adaptable suits, prepared to descend to the planet's surface. Their mission was simple: live, observe, and learn. But humans never limited themselves to simple. They thrived by learning, adapting, and improving. The shuttle doors opened, and the crew stepped out onto Aurelia Prime. The air was rich with fragrance, flowers, rain, and something fresh, pure, almost too perfect. Birds with colorful feathers flew past, singing in harmony. The humans paused, taking in the scene. It would have been beautiful to any other species, but to humans it was another challenge waiting to be met. "Look at this," said Rami. "No storms, no predators. It's almost too easy." Elena smiled faintly. "Almost. But every paradise has its dangers. They just hide them better." A group of alien observers approached. They floated slightly above the ground, their bodies graceful and weightless. Their expressions were still condescending. "You may find it difficult," one said. "The weather is controlled. The plants are monitored. Every creature here lives in balance. You will find nothing to test your strength or courage." Captain Carter responded evenly. "We will adapt as we always do." The aliens laughed again, a sound like crystal chimes. "Adaptation. How quaint. Here you will see that strength and courage are unnecessary. You humans will struggle for amusement and perhaps for survival, but mostly for your own pride." Elena's second-in-command, Lieutenant Marco Diaz, stepped forward. "Then let us show you that pride is not the only thing humans possess. Observation, intelligence, and cooperation matter as well." The alien leaders tilted their heads. Pride, they thought, was all humans had. They had no idea how wrong they were. The humans began to explore. At first, it seemed as though the aliens were correct. Everything was gentle. Forests were safe to walk through. Rivers were calm, teeming with fish that swam peacefully. The sun's rays were warm but never scorching. Humans expected to face obstacles at every turn, but Aurelia Prime offered none. Yet humans did not relax. Their eyes scanned the forests, noting each detail: the structure of the trees, the behavior of animals, the flow of water. They measured, mapped, and recorded, always observing. While the aliens assumed humans would be idle, humans were quietly calculating how to thrive here, and how to thrive better than the aliens themselves had imagined. By midday, the aliens grew impatient. They had gathered in a crystal amphitheater to watch the humans struggle. "This is entertaining," one said. "They do nothing, and yet they smile. Perhaps they are incapable of fear or challenge." Elena and her team, meanwhile, had begun to set up temporary shelters. They built them with efficiency, using lightweight materials but reinforcing them against any unexpected event. They installed water filters, solar collectors, and even small gardens, simple crops that could grow in multiple environments. Rami looked around at the alien spectators who floated above, arms folded. "They think this is a test?" "If they only knew," he muttered. Elena nodded. "Let them think what they want. Observation and preparation are the first steps to mastery." Evening came, painting the sky in shades of red and gold. The humans gathered in their newly built shelter, reviewing their day. Though they had faced no attacks or disasters, they analyzed every moment, asking questions about the planet's flora, fauna, and weather patterns. They hypothesized scenarios: sudden storms, aggressive predators, toxic plants. They prepared responses for each possibility. The alien observers were puzzled. "They prepare as if danger exists," one whispered. "But nothing is wrong here. They are extraordinary." Night fell, and Aurelia Prime's twin moons rose, bathing the land in soft light. The humans lit small, safe lamps in their shelter and continued planning. Even in paradise, they did not stop learning. They discussed strategies for building sustainable systems, for harnessing energy from the environment, and for surviving unexpected events. Captain Carter looked around at her crew. "Remember this," she said. "We did not come here to conquer. We came to adapt, to learn, and to thrive. The paradise you see may fool others, but humans never rely on appearances. We rely on knowledge, preparation, and action." A sudden breeze rustled through the trees. Birds chirped softly. To the aliens watching from above, the humans were still ordinary, perhaps even foolish, but the humans, as always, had already begun their work. Their minds were alive with plans, calculations, and ideas. By the end of the first night, the aliens realized something subtle but undeniable. The humans had survived the day without a single injury, without complaint, and without fear. They had moved through the paradise with calm confidence, observing and preparing for anything, even things that did not exist yet. "Perhaps," one alien said quietly, "there is more to these humans than we imagined." Captain Elena Carter looked out at the horizon, her face calm but determined. "They will learn," she thought, "that humans are not shaped by paradise. Humans are shaped by challenge. And wherever there is challenge, even hidden challenge, we will thrive." And with that, the humans slept, resting for the challenges that tomorrow, and the aliens, would surely bring. The morning sun rose over Aurelia Prime, painting the forests and oceans in shades of gold and emerald. Birds sang their melodic tunes, and gentle breezes carried the fragrance of flowers through the air. To most alien species, this was perfection. To humans, it was simply another day to adapt and learn. Captain Elena Carter stood at the edge of the human settlement, observing the surroundings. Her team had built a temporary shelter the day before, lightweight yet resilient, with a network of solar collectors and water filtration systems. They were prepared, but Elena knew that preparation alone would not test them. On Earth, survival required more than just equipment. It demanded creativity, quick thinking, and courage. "Morning, Captain," Lieutenant Marco Diaz greeted, handing her a tablet filled with observations from last night. "I think we have a solid start." "Everything seems calm," Elena nodded. "Calm is never permanent. Remember that. We will thrive not because the environment is easy, but because we can respond to any threat." As the crew prepared for the day, a strange phenomenon caught their attention. The sky, usually clear and bright, darkened in streaks of violet. Clouds formed unusually fast, swirling into patterns that humans had never seen before. Rami Patel, the science officer, frowned. "This isn't typical weather," he said. "The planet's climate seems controlled, but there's a disturbance here." "I need to investigate," Elena agreed. "Take a small team. Be cautious, but gather as much data as you can." Rami, Marco, and 2 other crew members ventured into the nearby forest. The alien observers floating silently above whispered among themselves. "They move cautiously," one said. Perhaps they sense something we do not. Curious. The forest was alive with colors and sounds. Flowers that glowed softly in the morning light swayed gently, and streams reflected the violet streaks in the sky. Yet beneath the beauty, subtle dangers lurked. Some plants released small spores when touched, irritating the skin. Small predators, almost invisible in the greenery, watched the humans silently. Rami knelt beside a patch of moss that seemed harmless at first. When he touched it, tiny spores puffed into the air. His eyes burned slightly and he coughed, but he quickly activated his protective mask. "Interesting," he muttered. "Even paradise has its hidden risks." Marco pointed to a nearby animal, sleek and cat-like, with fur that shimmered in sunlight. It crouched low, watching them. "I think it's studying us," he said. "We need to remain alert." Elena, observing from a distance, reminded herself, humans were built for this. On Earth, survival meant facing predators, sudden storms, earthquakes, and more. Here, even a paradise planet held challenges, and humans would meet them head-on. Back at the settlement, engineers worked on reinforcing shelters and securing food supplies. They tested water sources, noting that while the streams were pure, seasonal fluctuations could pose risks. Farmers among the crew began planting versatile crops, ready to adapt to any soil or weather changes. Suddenly, a sharp roar echoed through the forest. The humans froze. From the tree line, a massive predator emerged, its fur a mix of silver and green, blending perfectly with the trees. Its eyes glowed faintly, intelligent and calculating. This creature had never attacked the alien inhabitants because they had no predators in their lives. But the humans did not retreat. "Stand back," Elena commanded calmly. She raised her arm, signaling the team to form a circle. "Observe, assess, respond," the predator approached cautiously. The humans noted its speed, its pattern of movement, and its aggression. Then, without hesitation, they used a combination of sound, light, and distraction to guide it away from their settlement. The alien observers gasped. "They confront the danger instead of running," one whispered. "They do not fear." Rami, fascinated, wrote down detailed notes. "On Earth, we learn to analyze predators quickly, anticipate their moves, and respond efficiently. This is instinct combined with training." The predator eventually retreated, confused but unharmed. Humans had survived without harming the creature, a skill many species never mastered. Elena's team returned to the settlement, still calm but invigorated. "That was impressive," Marco said. "Even I didn't expect it to follow our pattern so predictably." Elena smiled faintly. "Predictability comes from understanding nature. We are trained to adapt, not just react." Meanwhile, the alien leaders continued to watch from their vantage points above the forest. "They survived without tools or advanced weapons," one murmured. "How?" The day continued with new challenges. Sudden changes in river currents threatened supplies, and some plants released sticky sap that trapped equipment. Humans solved each problem with creativity, redirecting the river with simple channels, carefully removing the sap with water and tools, and even using some of the hazards to their advantage. By evening, the crew had mapped the surrounding area, secured their resources, and even built basic defensive measures, not because they expected an attack, but because humans always prepared for possibilities. Elena gathered her crew. "Notice something?" she asked. "We faced challenges we did not anticipate, and yet we thrived. That is what makes humans unique. We do not rely on comfort or predictability. We rely on action, intelligence, and cooperation." Rami nodded. "And it works. Even here in paradise, we are learning and improving every moment." Aliens observing from above exchanged uneasy glances. Their paradise had never required such skills. The humans' ability to remain calm, analyze, and respond had already begun to unsettle them. "Perhaps Earth's Deathworld status is a strength," one admitted softly. Night fell, and the humans continued their work, even under the soft glow of HFY moons. They reinforced shelters, monitored the local wildlife, and refined their emergency plans. Their minds were alive, always thinking several steps ahead. Captain Carter looked over the settlement, proud but focused. "Remember, every success here is built on understanding and preparation. We survive not because the environment is easy, but because we learn to use every detail to our advantage." Rami approached her. "Captain, even the predators here are fascinating. They are intelligent, but they have never had to test themselves against challenge. We can learn from them and they can learn from us. Elena smiled. Exactly. Adaptation is a two-way process. We adjust, we thrive, and in doing so, we transform the world around us, not by force, but by understanding. The alien observers, growing more concerned, floated back to their council. They are unlike any species we have encountered. They do not fear, yet they do not attack blindly. They think, analyze, and adapt. This is extraordinary. That night, humans slept briefly, but their minds continued to work. Plans for improved shelters, water management, and food cultivation filled their dreams. Every member of the crew understood that survival on Aurelia Prime would require constant attention and creativity, but they welcomed it. This was what they were trained for. Captain Carter gazed at the stars from the observation deck. She thought of Earth, a planet where survival demanded every ounce of skill and courage. Humans had thrived there for millennia, learning to adapt to impossible conditions, and now even on a paradise planet those lessons were proving invaluable. This is only the beginning, she whispered to herself. They mocked us for surviving a death world, but they will see what humans are capable of. We do not just endure, we grow, we improve, and we thrive. And so, as Aurelia Prime's gentle winds whispered through the forests and oceans, humans continued to adapt, silently teaching the galaxy a lesson in resilience and ingenuity. The morning light stretched over Aurelia Prime like liquid gold, spilling into every valley, river, and forest. The humans emerged from their shelter, moving with purpose. While the alien observers floated above, watching curiously, the humans began the real work, not just surviving, but learning to shape their environment. Captain Elena Carter surveyed the settlement. The shelters stood solid, equipped with water filtration, energy collectors, and basic defensive measures. Her crew had already faced unexpected challenges: the massive predator, the toxic plants, and sudden shifts in weather. But today, she wanted them to go further. Survival was no longer enough. Humans thrived by mastering the world around them. Team, she called, today we begin adapting Aurelia Prime to us. Observation is good. Reaction is better. But creation is how humans thrive. Rami Patel, the science officer, grinned. Captain, are we talking about altering the environment? That's so ambitious, Elena nodded. We are not changing it destructively. We are working with it. Nature here is stable, but it can support more: food systems, energy collection, and safe pathways. We will enhance it, not harm it. The humans split into small teams. One team, led by Marco Diaz, examined a nearby river. Though calm and clean, its currents shifted unpredictably at times, threatening their water supply. The team began constructing small channels and retention areas, redirecting the flow gently to provide consistent water for crops and daily use. They built barriers from natural rocks and plants, blending their work seamlessly with the surrounding environment. Rami and his team focused on the local flora. They studied plants for edible parts, medicinal properties, and even potential energy sources. Some plants released nectar that could power small energy cells when combined with human technology. Others produced fibers strong enough for shelter reinforcements. Every plant became a resource, every detail an opportunity. Meanwhile, Captain Carter led the exploration team into the forest. They mapped safe paths, noting predator territories and hidden hazards. Humans never feared the creatures, they respected them. Instead, they learned to coexist, creating early warning systems using simple sound sensors and motion detectors. Predators were deterred without harm, a concept the aliens found perplexing. Floating above, the alien observers whispered to one another. They are not merely surviving, said one. They are reshaping the environment to suit them, but without harming it. How clever. Evening brought new challenges. A storm formed faster than the planet's usual weather patterns, dark clouds twisting into spirals of violet and silver. The aliens watched, confident that humans would struggle, yet the humans were ready. Using their earlier observations and prepared plans, they activated storm barriers, reinforced shelters, and redirected water to prevent flooding. The storm passed with minimal impact, leaving the humans calm and focused. Rami shook his head in awe. On Earth, storms were unpredictable and often deadly. Here we prepared for the unexpected and succeeded, Marco added. It's not just preparation. It's understanding. We do not rely on luck. We rely on knowledge and action. Nightfall revealed another layer of Aurelia Prime's secrets. Bioluminescent creatures emerged from the forests and rivers, lighting the landscape with soft, shimmering colors. Humans used these creatures to improve visibility around the settlement. By creating small, safe enclosures, they harnessed natural light for night activities. Even alien technology had not considered such an elegant solution. The alien observers grew uneasy. They use every aspect of this paradise to their advantage, one admitted. Their world is dangerous compared to ours, but they are stronger than we imagined. In the following days, humans expanded their settlements cautiously. They built gardens using soil enrichment techniques and selective plant combinations. Crops grew faster than expected, and some plants even provided natural pest control without chemicals or harm. Humans experimented with renewable energy systems, creating small wind and water generators that integrated perfectly with the planet's natural flows. Captain Carter walked among her team, observing their work. "This is how humans thrive," she said. "We do not simply endure. We create, adapt, and improve. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every resource is a tool. Every day is a chance to become stronger." As the human success grew, the alien observers became restless. Their paradise, once untouched and perfect, now seemed ordinary. Humans had transformed portions of it subtly, enhancing productivity and safety without destroying its beauty. Some aliens admitted quietly to one another that perhaps Earth's harsh conditions had prepared its people for greatness in ways they could not understand. One afternoon, a massive predator approached the settlement again. This time it was larger than the one humans had seen before, more powerful and cunning. The aliens expected chaos. The humans did not flinch. Using motion sensors, sound cues, and carefully placed light sources, they guided the predator away from critical areas. When it tried to approach crops, the humans blocked its path without causing harm, redirecting it to a safe hunting ground. Rami recorded every movement. "It's incredible. They anticipate behavior patterns and adapt in real time. Nothing is left to chance," Captain Carter smiled faintly. "This is instinct honed by experience. On Earth, humans face danger every day. We do not fear it, we learn from it. And we use that knowledge to thrive, not just survive." Night fell again, and humans gathered around their central area, discussing the day. They shared observations, suggested improvements, and prepared for tomorrow's work. Cooperation was seamless. Every human contributed, no matter their role. Even engineers and scientists worked side by side, blending skills in a way that amazed the aliens watching from above. "This is unusual," one alien leader whispered to another. "They collaborate without conflict, they face danger without fear, and they reshape the world without harm. How can a species from a so-called Deathworld be this capable?" The human success was not limited to survival. They began constructing small bridges over rivers, using native plants reinforced with lightweight human materials. These bridges allowed safe travel across the terrain, connecting shelters, water sources, and gardens. Even small energy stations were integrated into these structures, blending technology with nature. By the end of the week, Aurelia Prime's appearance had subtly changed. Paths and bridges guided travelers safely. Water systems ensured steady supply, and gardens provided food efficiently. Humans had enhanced the paradise without destroying its essence. They had not only survived, they had mastered portions of the environment. Captain Carter gathered her crew one evening as the twin moons rose. "Look at what we have done," she said. "We did not conquer. We did not destroy. We observed, we adapted, and we improved. This is how humans thrive anywhere, whether on Earth, in space, or on a paradise planet. Adaptability is our strength. Knowledge is our power. Cooperation is our tool." Rami nodded. "Even the predators now respect our space. The ecosystem remains balanced, yet it supports us. We are part of it, not above it." Marco added, "And the aliens, they are beginning to notice. Perhaps this will change how they see humans forever." The alien observers floating above exchanged uneasy glances. "They are extraordinary," one admitted. "Their so-called Deathworld upbringing has given them strengths we cannot match. They turn challenge into advantage and danger into opportunity. Perhaps Earth is not a threat. It is a force." As humans prepared for another night, they continued refining their systems. They mapped predator movements, improved shelters, optimized water distribution, and expanded their gardens. Every challenge was met with a solution, every problem with creativity. Even in paradise, humans saw potential for growth. Captain Carter stood on a hill overlooking the settlement. The rivers glowed faintly in moonlight, Bridges and pathways connected every section and gardens flourished under careful attention. Humans had begun mastering Aurelia Prime, not through force but through knowledge, adaptation, and cooperation. "This is only the beginning," she said softly. "We will thrive wherever we go." They mocked our Deathworld. They doubted our strength. But they will learn. Humans do not just survive. Humans master the world around them. And so, under the twin moons and the gentle hum of Aurelia Prime, humans continued their work, reshaping the paradise in ways both subtle and profound. The aliens watched in quiet disbelief, beginning to understand that Earth's Deathworld had not broken humanity. It had forged a species capable of thriving anywhere. The morning on Aurelia Prime was quiet, almost too perfect. Birds sang in harmony. Rivers reflected the bright sky and the forests glowed with life. The humans moved through the landscape with calm confidence, checking their shelters, gardens, and water systems. What had begun as survival had grown into mastery, and today, their actions would begin to earn something even more powerful: respect. Captain Elena Carter walked alongside Lieutenant Marco Diaz and Science Officer Rami Patel. "Our work is not finished," she reminded them. "The environment here is stable, but we must always improve, always adapt. Respect is earned through consistent action, not words." Rami nodded. "The aliens are watching. I think they are beginning to understand, though perhaps not fully." Elena smiled faintly. "Let them watch. They will learn in time." The first challenge of the day came unexpectedly. A sudden tremor shook the ground. Trees swayed violently. Birds scattered in fear and small creatures scurried to safer areas. Humans reacted instantly. They had anticipated that even paradise could hold hidden dangers. Using lightweight sensors and quick communication, they assessed the areas most at risk, secured loose structures, and ensured that water systems and food supplies were protected. "Check the southern riverbank," Marco ordered. "It looks like a minor landslide may occur." Within minutes, human teams were reinforcing the bank with natural barriers, diverting the water flow, and stabilizing the soil with clever arrangements of rocks and plants. By the time the tremor subsided, no human, no animal, and no plant had been harmed. The alien observers floating silently above exchanged astonished glances. "They protect the environment and themselves with equal care," one whispered. "No other species we know has this balance of strength and understanding." Meanwhile, the humans began repairing the minor damages and expanding their improvements. They constructed small pathways to connect safer areas, ensuring that even the most dangerous spots were accessible without risk. Bridges over streams were reinforced with resilient fibers. Gardens were reorganized for optimal growth, and water systems were fine-tuned to respond automatically to environmental changes. Rami studied a small group of predators near the outskirts of the settlement. Unlike the first encounters, these creatures now moved carefully around the humans' work zones. "They respect the humans' presence," Rami observed. "It is not fear. It is recognition of capability." Captain Carter nodded. "Every action we take sends a message not just to the aliens but to the entire ecosystem. We adapt, we survive, and we inspire respect." The alien observers, uneasy and silent, could not deny what they were witnessing. These humans did not merely survive challenges, they improved the environment while coexisting with its inhabitants. By midday, a new task emerged. A massive predator, larger and more powerful than any the humans had encountered, appeared near a critical water reservoir. It was intelligent, calculating, and potentially dangerous. Most species would flee. Most species would hide. But humans acted with calm precision. Using motion sensors, sound cues, and non-harmful barriers, the humans guided the predator away from critical areas. Rami carefully monitored the creature's behavior, noting its reactions to every adjustment. The predator tested the humans' defenses, but each test was met with ingenuity and strategy. Finally, it retreated to a safe hunting ground, leaving humans and resources unharmed. The aliens, watching from above, whispered anxiously, "They can control even the largest predators without violence. Their intelligence, it is beyond any we imagined." That evening, the humans held a council in their central area. Captain Carter gathered the team. "Today we faced challenges that could have harmed us or the environment. Yet we overcame them without conflict, without destruction. That is what earns respect, not only from other species, but from nature itself." Rami smiled. "Even the predators are adapting to our presence. They have learned the boundaries without aggression. Marco added, and the aliens. They are noticing our methods. Perhaps they will understand that humans are more than just survivors of a death world. We are thinkers, creators, and problem solvers. The alien observers, now gathered as a council above the settlement, were silent. They had watched for days as humans reshaped Aurelia Prime, not through force but through careful planning and adaptability. The alien leaders began to discuss the implications quietly. They are extraordinary, one admitted. Earth's death world upbringing gave them resilience and ingenuity. We cannot match it. And yet they do not destroy. They build, improve, and coexist. Another alien, more skeptical, argued, they may thrive here now, but this is paradise. On a more dangerous planet, would they succeed? The first alien shook its head. They have proven their intelligence and adaptability. I believe they would thrive anywhere. That is the essence of humans. They are forged by challenge and they rise above it. Over the next few days, humans continued improving their settlement. They built small observation towers to monitor wildlife, designed bridges that doubled as water channels, and planted gardens that supported both humans and local species. Every action was calculated, efficient, and harmonious. One afternoon, an unexpected event tested their leadership. A rare, fast-moving wildfire ignited in a distant forest. It threatened to spread toward alien settlements nearby. Humans acted immediately. Using water channels, natural fire breaks, and coordinated efforts, they contained the fire before it could cause harm. Trees, animals, and alien habitats were preserved. The aliens who had watched the fire spread initially with panic were stunned. They controlled disaster without harm, one whispered. They are not just survivors. They are leaders in every sense. That night, Captain Carter addressed her team under the twin moons of Aurelia Prime. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to demonstrate our values: intelligence, cooperation, and respect for life. We earn trust and admiration not through force but through consistent, thoughtful action. This is how humans thrive, and this is how we earn respect, even from those who doubted us. The alien observers could not ignore the growing admiration from their own people. Some began to approach the human settlement cautiously, curious rather than judgmental. They asked questions about human methods, seeking understanding rather than superiority. A young alien scientist approached Rami Patel one morning. How do you anticipate danger so quickly? It asked. On Aurelia Prime, we have never needed to prepare for anything. And yet you succeed constantly. Rami smiled. It comes from experience. Humans learn from challenge. Every obstacle teaches us something. We plan for the unexpected, and we work together to turn threats into opportunities. The alien nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps Earth is not a death world of weakness, as we believed. Perhaps it is a crucible that creates strength. Captain Carter observed the exchange quietly. Humans had begun to change perceptions, not through words but through action. The alien culture, once dismissive and arrogant, was beginning to see humans as equals, even leaders. Over the next week, humans worked alongside some aliens who volunteered to help. They taught methods of observation, cooperation, and preparation. Together, they improved parts of Aurelia Prime, creating sustainable gardens, safer pathways, and energy systems that supported multiple species. The aliens marveled at the humans' ability to integrate technology, nature, and strategy seamlessly. By the end of the week, Aurelia Prime's alien population had changed their attitude. What was once amusement and ridicule became curiosity and admiration. Humans had earned respect not through confrontation, but through capability, creativity, and cooperation. Captain Carter reflected on the progress. We have not conquered, she said to Marco and Rami. We have shown that strength is not just physical. It is intelligence, resilience, and the ability to work with others. Respect is earned by demonstrating these qualities consistently. And the more we demonstrate them, the more influence we gain. Not by force, but by example. Rami nodded. Even the predators are now part of the balance. The aliens are learning that challenge creates strength. And humans, we continue to thrive no matter the environment. Marco added, this is more than survival. This is leadership. Humans are not just enduring Aurelia Prime. They are shaping it, improving it, and inspiring everyone around them. The Alien Council, watching from above, had no choice but to acknowledge the humans' success. Perhaps we underestimated them, one leader said. They are not weak. They are extraordinary. And so, under the twin moons and the glowing forests of Aurelia Prime, humans continued their work, earning respect from every corner of the planet. They had faced dangers, mastered their environment, and demonstrated intelligence, cooperation, and humility. The aliens could no longer see them as mere survivors. They were leaders, innovators, and examples of what true strength could accomplish. Captain Carter looked out over the settlement one last time before nightfall. "They mocked our Deathworld upbringing," she said quietly, "but they are beginning to see what it created. Humans who do not just survive, humans who thrive, and humans who inspire respect everywhere they go." Aurelia Prime, once a paradise untouched by challenge, now bore the subtle mark of human ingenuity. The planet, its creatures, and its alien inhabitants had all changed, not because humans conquered them, but because humans had adapted, learned, and led. And the galaxy through. The morning sun rose over Aurelia Prime with a brilliance that seemed to honor the humans' efforts. Their settlement, once a small collection of shelters, had grown into a network of thriving gardens, clean water systems, and well-constructed pathways. Bridges connected forests and rivers, observation towers monitored wildlife, and energy systems powered both shelters and research stations. Captain Elena Carter stood on a hill, observing the scene. She felt a quiet pride, not for conquest, but for achievement. Her crew had not only survived, but had transformed a paradise into a place where humans, aliens, and nature could coexist, thrive, and learn from each other. Rami Patel, leaning beside her, broke the silence. "Captain, look at them. The aliens. They are watching, but not with mockery. They are curious. They are learning from us." Elena nodded. "Curiosity is the first step toward respect. The next step is trust, and we will earn that as well, through continued action, through consistency, and through cooperation." The alien observers, once distant and dismissive, now approached openly. Scientists, engineers, and leaders came to the settlement, asking questions, observing methods, and even volunteering to assist. They marveled at human techniques, irrigation systems that mimicked natural streams, gardens designed to provide multiple benefits to both humans and wildlife, and shelters that were strong yet harmonious with the environment. One young alien scientist approached Rami with a nervous smile. "How do you achieve balance with creatures that could be dangerous?" it asked. "On Aurelia Prime, we have never needed to plan for danger, yet you manage it effortlessly." Rami smiled warmly. "We observe, we learn, we prepare, and we respect all life. Strength is not just about force, it is about understanding, planning, and cooperation." The alien nodded slowly. "Your world, Earth, must have been very challenging." Rami glanced toward Captain Carter. "It was, and that is why humans are capable of thriving anywhere. Challenges do not weaken us, they forge us into problem solvers, creators, and leaders." Elena stepped forward. "We do not seek to dominate. We seek to improve, to adapt, and to coexist. That is how humans thrive. That is how we have earned our place here." The aliens, impressed by her calm confidence, began to see the truth in her words. What they had once considered a weakness, a harsh homeworld, was in reality humanity's greatest strength. It had created a species capable of adapting, thriving, and inspiring change wherever they went. The humans continued their work over the next several days. They refined their water systems, planted additional gardens, and even began teaching alien volunteers some of their survival and observation techniques. Bridges were reinforced, energy systems optimized, and new observation towers built. Every action demonstrated intelligence, cooperation, and respect for life. A sudden storm, unusual even for Aurelia Prime, approached without warning. Clouds swirled violently. Lightning danced across the sky, and rain threatened to flood low-lying areas. Most species might have panicked. Humans did not. Using real-time observations and previously prepared emergency plans, they reinforced shelters, secured energy systems, and redirected water flows. Bridges were strengthened, gardens protected, and pathways cleared of debris. By the time the storm passed, damage was minimal and the settlement remained secure. The Alien Council, observing the event, was silent. Even their most skeptical members could not deny the humans' capability. One whispered, "They survive challenges that would overwhelm any other species, and they improve the environment while doing it." That evening, Captain Carter gathered her team. "Observe this," she said, pointing to the calm, thriving settlement after the storm. "This is not luck. This is preparation, intelligence, and cooperation. Humans do not rely on chance. We rely on action, and that is how we thrive." Marco Diaz smiled. "The aliens are beginning to understand. Even some of them are now learning from us. They will never underestimate humans again." Rami added, "And the predators, the plants, even the weather, all are part of the system now. We are not separate from this planet. We are integrated, and it is thriving because of it." Over the following weeks, humans and aliens worked together. Knowledge flowed both ways. Humans taught observation, preparation, and strategic planning. Aliens shared their advanced technology and deep understanding of the planet's ecosystem. Together, they created a harmonious system where every species benefited, where growth and safety coexisted, and where cooperation became the standard. News of human success spread quickly among Aurelia Prime's population. Rumors reached the alien leadership across the planet, and admiration grew. "They are remarkable," one leader admitted. "They do not conquer by force, but by intellect and cooperation. They improve everything they touch." Captain Carter observed these changes quietly. Humans had earned respect not through words or intimidation, but through action. Their resilience, intelligence, and creativity had won over a species that had once mocked them openly. A grand council was held, inviting human leaders and representatives from every alien community. The air was tense at first, with some aliens still skeptical. But as humans presented their achievements, improved water systems, thriving gardens, safe pathways, and harmonious coexistence with predators, the skepticism faded. Applause filled the amphitheater. The alien leader, once one of the most dismissive voices, stepped forward. "We doubted you," it admitted, addressing Captain Carter. "We called Earth a death world and laughed at its inhabitants. We see now that Earth has forged a species unlike any other. Humans do not simply survive. They adapt, innovate, and lead. Aurelia Prime has changed because of you, and we are better for it. We offer our respect and cooperation, not because we must, but because you have earned it." Captain Carter accepted the acknowledgement with calm dignity. "Thank you," she replied. "We did not come to prove superiority. We came to learn, to adapt, and to thrive. If our success inspires others, then we are glad. Strength comes from cooperation, understanding, and action, not from domination." Rami watched the aliens' reactions closely. "It's remarkable," he said. "They are learning from humans now, not mocking them. That is respect earned, not demanded." Even the younger aliens, who had once laughed at humans, now approached the settlement with curiosity and admiration. They asked questions, assisted with projects, and observed human methods with fascination. It was clear that a cultural shift had occurred. Humans were no longer outsiders. They were leaders, teachers, and examples of resilience and intelligence. Captain Carter walked among her crew that evening, the twin moons reflecting softly on the water. "Look at what we've achieved," she said. "We did not conquer. We did not destroy. We adapted, we thrived, and we inspired respect. That is the legacy of humans, a legacy built on knowledge, courage, and cooperation." The settlement glowed softly in the moonlight. Gardens flourished, predators moved cautiously but safely, and alien volunteers worked alongside humans in harmony. Aurelia Prime, once untouched and perfect in its own way, had become an example of what could be achieved when intelligence, preparation, and cooperation were applied even in paradise. News reached the broader galaxy. Humans' work on Aurelia Prime became a legend. Other species began to question their own perceptions of Earth and its people. The so-called Deathworld had produced beings capable of thriving anywhere, turning challenges into opportunities and earning respect wherever they went. Rami Patel reflected quietly. The galaxy will remember this. Humans have proven that survival is only the beginning. Thriving requires courage, intelligence, and unity. Marco added, and humility. We do not boast. We act. That is what makes us extraordinary in a way few species understand. Captain Carter looked at her crew, proud but focused. Remember this lesson. The galaxy may doubt us, mock us, or underestimate us, but humans are capable of thriving anywhere. Challenge strengthens us, knowledge guides us, and cooperation empowers us. That is what we offer the universe. Resilience, ingenuity, and the ability to inspire others through action, not words. The alien leaders approached her one last time before the humans prepared to continue exploring Aurelia Prime. Earthlings, one said, we have learned more from your methods than from centuries of our own experience. Your people are extraordinary. You do not just endure, you transform. You do not just survive, you inspire. Captain Carter smiled. Thank you. We hope that this example encourages all species to see strength in resilience, wisdom in preparation, and value in cooperation. As the sun set over Aurelia Prime, the humans stood on a hill overlooking their settlement. The twin moons rose, casting silver light across forests, rivers, and gardens. The planet was alive, harmonious, and improved, not because of domination, but because humans had adapted, learned, and led by example, and the galaxy, witnessing these events through alien eyes, began to understand a truth that had long been underestimated. Earth's Deathworld had forged humanity not into mere survivors, but into a species capable of thriving anywhere, inspiring respect and leaving a legacy that would echo across the stars. Humanity had arrived on Aurelia Prime and in doing so had not only survived paradise, they had mastered it.